Hello there and welcome to a video I'm very excited to make because as you've seen in the title and thumbnail, I'm not going to drag this out. We finally have a LEGO official Light Up minifigure, and if you weren't aware what these were, back in the late 2000s, the late noughties, LEGO come out with 5 different versions of these Light Up minifigures with LED lightsabers actually built into the minifigure, which is awesome. Why 20 years later have we not seen any more minifigures like this? Hopefully we'll be seeing them again soon. But here we have Mace Windu, who is very special to me because a while back I did a video on every single form of lightsaber that LEGO has made. I'm only missing the Count Dooku hilt, and I have all the other hilts, and I thought at the time all the other bars. Technically I have all the other bar elements that LEGO consider exclusive pieces, you know, individual pieces, because this bar element is exclusive to this minifigure, but for some reason is considered typically one piece. I know Bricklink has a separate page for it, and I assume based on that Brickout also does, but this bar is its own exclusive element. Mace Windu did come in 2 sets. This version with an LED saber, and then the same set was later released without the LED minifigures. It's a shame that LEGO stopped them so quickly, but there was at the time, much like the prequel movies that had not long come out, a lot of complaints around these LED minifigures. So we can thank everyone at the time for the reason that these didn't continue. So here we have the Mace Windu, and I've already checked that this is the exact light translucent purple, I think it was called, that is the bar exclusive to this Mace Windu minifigure. And here's my display of every other color of lightsaber that LEGO have made, and to make space for it, I think I'm actually going to remove the glow-in-the-dark translucent element and add that to my other sabers, which it seems I have temporarily misplaced. But that will be done after this video because I want to take a look at Mace Windu. The batteries have run out of this Mace Windu minifigure, so when I press down the head, at the minute nothing happens. But I've seen a few videos on how to replace these minifigures. Recently actually, I saw a post with someone trying to replace their Luminara and Vader minifigures, and they cracked the torso because they removed the arm. But now I have this in person, I don't understand why people are popping off the arms. Taking a look closer up at this Mace Windu minifigure, you can see on the side, and it's present on both sides of this minifigure, there's a little hole which I'm pretty sure if you could get something in, it looks like there's a clip on the inside. If I can poke something in that hole, it would then go on to remove the back piece of the torso, which is how we get in to change the battery, and that pops off. We get a little battery inside, one of those little button batteries. And that saves having to pop off the arm because this arm isn't popping off at all. I didn't realise that about these figures, but the arm and saber seems to be one completely joint piece. And I know there's meant to be a 1x1 stud on the bottom of this minifigure. I will be getting that. That is classed as a separate element. But this saber also has one of those little pins that allowed like the flame elements to stick up into old LEGO Dragon mouths, which has since been done away with. But I wonder if that's the same size as the, you know, the rangefinder or the visor pin for the clone troopers, and we can just attach a clone helmet on there, because why not? I have my helmet handy from my Phase 1 Captain Rex, which you might have seen the channel banner has been updated with this minifigure for quite some time now. And it does appear that pin, that little pin sticking out the saber, is almost the exact same size needed for the Captain Rex helmet. It's a snug fit, as are most of the clone accessories, but take a look at that. We can just give Windu a clone helmet because, well, because the connection's there. That's another very expensive minifigure to be playing around with though, just to see if it works. Now let's see if I can press the pins inside Windu and get the back open so that we can replace the battery and see if this minifigure can still light up. If I can get this drawer open, I'm hoping that I can find something in here that's small enough to poke in those holes. I think this is going to be a little too big, but I do have a pair of tweezers in here which should have quite a fine pointy tip, and they're still dull enough not to damage the Lego inside. Much like the minifigure itself, these pins and the entire back are made out of an ABS plastic, so they're quite durable, not really to metal objects such as these tweezers, but I shouldn't damage them too much in pushing these pins in and trying to pop open the back piece. I'm not even sure that this is going to work. It definitely feels like it should be working. Maybe there's something else I can pop in instead. Wouldn't it be nice if the bar element fit in, and that would just make it way too easy. Maybe this does. No, it just doesn't fit in the hole. I don't like the idea of popping off the arm just in case I do end up cracking the torso. So I'm going to keep on at this for the next couple minutes. And if this doesn't work, we can always then remove the arm. All right, that doesn't seem to be working for Windu here. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to pop off the arm. I have a good feeling about this actually. I feel like this torso is going to be all right for that. The only thing is, if I crack this minifigure torso, that's basically like pouring £300 down the sink. Not really, and that doesn't work here in the UK. We don't have waste disposal, so it will just get a bit soggy and you'll have to clean your pipes. However, this minifigure is going for quite a lot of money right now, and if this is a fully functional version, I don't want to be responsible for breaking it, taking it off the market, and well, I'm not going to sell this. I'm going to be keeping it. I'd just like to keep this as, you know, as top quality as I can, and I just wish there was an easier way than popping off the arm of the Mace Windu. So here's the before, just in case things do go south. Not a single crack in sight, and hopefully I can keep it that way. Yes, not a crack, but we do also have to pop the arm back in. And how on earth am I meant to remove the back? Do I just get a little screwdriver in there and then unclip the... I don't think this makes it any easier. There we have our Windu torso, and you can kind of see the little hole underneath the arm socket has been scratched up, where I assume someone's tried to do exactly what I've done, and the tweezers probably weren't helping. But how am I meant to get some sort of, I guess, screwdriver in there and wedge that? Maybe I can just press on the back plate gently and that will pop the whole thing open. At least that's going to be the first thing that I try. So a little bit of pressure should do it. I can see the top is starting to pop, and you don't want to be holding the head. There's a pin that goes through the head, which is the activator for the entire thing, and I don't want to ruin that and stop that from working. So I'm going to try and just hold the edges of the torso here and gently put a little pressure on the back bit here to get it to pop open without destroying anything internally or otherwise. It's coming out. It's just not coming out enough. Maybe the side hole was the way to do it. It just doesn't seem to be working whatsoever. I wish there was an easier way of doing this, but this is probably why these minifigures didn't last very long. The battery replacement here could have been a bit better from Lego, but what really could they do with the backs? I guess if they were going to continue or bring these back, what I'd like to see Lego do is have it so that you remove the legs, which don't seem like they're removable. The hips are built into the torso, which you can kind of see from the back. This back plate does go down into the hips. What I'd like to see is some special legs, maybe even a special hip piece, and then by removing the legs, not only could you swap them out for, you know, slightly better legs down the line, but also you'd then be able to swap the battery, and then the legs, the hip piece would kind of go around the legs. Maybe that's something that I could incorporate into a few custom minifigures, but we're going to have to work out the whole techie bit first. So let's keep trying this, and hopefully we can get the back open. Turns out I was in fact right, and those little holes just underneath the arms are exactly what you're meant to. I mean, this thing actually, being Lego, didn't actually come with instructions, funnily enough, but I did manage to poke a little screwdriver in the end. The tweezers, I feel like, were doing a little too much damage. Funnily enough, again, these were too pointy, so a screwdriver was better. I don't know my logic, but either way, I managed to poke something in the hole, and you might just be able to see the back is starting to come off. So I'm going to make use of these tweezers and pry it the rest of the way. And there are the two connections both sides. It seems the battery's jumping out. Batteries are, my bad, 2 batteries to power this little guy. That's some juice. And there's a bit of dirt on the inside that I might just clean up before I put this thing back together. But if you do own a Light Up minifigure, do not pull the arm off. Thankfully, we were lucky today and no damage was done. But that does increase the risk of splitting torsos or cracking any of the, even the elements on the inside. You pull off the torso wrong and the other side of the arm, there are electrical components. So don't risk it, don't pull off the arm, just go with the buttons on the side. It's so much easier, and I wish Lego just come out with a tool that would make it, you know, a little easier, because these holes here are the same holes used for the clone helmets and that we saw on the lightsaber earlier on. So you could probably connect these minifigures. Maybe if you have 2 of these, you could use the lightsaber to open it up, but the lightsaber element does not pop off, and there's a nice LED on the inside. So now I've got a hunt for 2 of these tiny batteries. What are we looking for? CR927. And hopefully I have 2 of those. Better luck than the AA's, that's for sure, because these come in packs of like 1,000,000, and then we'll be back to light up Mace Windu. Show me the batteries. Oh, this one's way too thick to be a CR927, I think we were looking for. And I have a ton of these. I'm pretty sure it was for a Lego project back in the day, but why would I need the bigger batteries? If only we needed the AAA batteries. I'm gonna have to blur that because, you know, I'm not sponsored. I'm not gonna show their company for free, but 60 batteries. Now that must have been a bargain. Aha, are these the batteries we're looking for? We're looking for CR927, and there's no CR on here. There is just a bunch of letters. I have letters and numbers. I have no idea what to make of this. Is the phone slipping? No, I think that's all right. And we seem to have here AG3, 392A, and LR41W, which I think are the same. So I'm going to do a quick Google and see if these are the batteries we need. But again, they seem too thick. I'm hoping these are the right batteries, but seeing them side by side, the ones we need are definitely... Where did you come from? I just have this random Lego arm. I'm pretty sure I was holding the battery. There we are. So the batteries that we need are a little bit bigger. You can't really tell it too much on the camera, at least not where I'm seeing it. Maybe it's the smaller screen. And they're also a little bit thinner. So I guess after not having the batteries for the well, no, that's not true. We did have the batteries. Turns out those 4 batteries that we tried using on the Bluetooth mouse were all new and did function elsewhere. I should have really tried it out on the LED display that I've got just sat to the side. I speak about it so much, but I don't feel like you ever really see it. So there we go. That's the display in question. And as you can see, at least 3 of the 4 batteries do work. So let's turn it off, save battery. The Bluetooth mouse, I've got a response from Bamboo Lab, just a quick update on it, and they want a bit more information, so I'm going to send them a few clips and a few other things about the mouse, but hopefully we can get a replacement soon. Apparently it takes the team about 2 months to run through the checks. We'll have to wait and see. I have no idea, but I'm hoping it's a bit sooner than that so that we can get the mouse up and running. But what I might do is have a little look if I can get a little more expensive kit, because this only costs a tenner. And they've probably got the parts from elsewhere as cheap as they can. As a 3D printing company, I don't think they specialize in Bluetooth mice. But for Windu, we're going to have to go on a hunt for some batteries. CR927, which I mistakenly Googled 923, which came up as 123, and they're completely different batteries. So once we have those batteries, we will continue, and then we'll also be taking a little look at that exclusive light translucent purple blade, or bar element as Lego call them. As you can see on screen, yeah, no microphone. I wasn't recording audio for this, and hopefully it's not been too long. I can kind of guess what I was saying. I think I was talking about all the stores. I was having a little look online if I could order some batteries, and the big difference between the batteries we took a look at already that I had in hand, well, they were alkaline batteries. We need lithium for these little minifigures, and the batteries probably haven't been made since 2007. There are still a few like watch companies and very small places you can get them online, and on Amazon there are like 5 results for the batteries that I need, but Duracell do sell them, and they're pretty pricey for the battery size, you know. $2.99 for this. That's basically an entire minifigure, whether it be CMF or build a mini, but I didn't find any online. I actually ended up contacting a family member, and the batteries have been ordered, so don't let me end this video without showing you the batteries, because they're meant to be arriving tomorrow. This lightsaber did have some of the same batteries, so I am going to put those to use as well. Funnily enough, actually, this lightsaber has 2 batteries inside, which is the exact same amount we need for the minifigure. How awesome is that? But I would like to power both of those. It's an old lightsaber I got from Disneyland a while back, and as you can see right on it, engraved, sticking out, is CR927, and it's 2 3-volt batteries. Absolutely perfect. So I crack this open. This is an official lightsaber. I don't know if Disney have actually made any more of these lightsabers. I'd love to go back to a Disney park and test it out. It doesn't look like it is, but it is lighting up. Yes, I know, and I said about this when I recorded the first part of the video. You cannot see it at all on screen, but I promise it's lighting up. And you can kind of see it now a little bit, but the batteries were very, very weak at best. You know, we do want some new batteries for both this and the Mace Windu minifigure, but I'm just a big fan of light up lightsabers, honestly. It's a lightsaber, it's a saber that lights up. What else do you want from it? But with these light up minifigures, I've also found that it's quite a struggle to get the cape round. By the way, this cape is in really, really good condition, especially to some of the others that I've seen online. But if you put the arm down, you should be able to swivel it out of the way. And now we can get both of the cell batteries in Windu. Also, I've just realized that my mic wasn't plugged in, so I apologize for the last few minutes of audio. I should probably also clear my desk. All right, there we go. Vader is once again holding up the mic. I love this shirt combo just because it looks like Vader's actually force lifting the microphone for me. And based on this short by MKM Bricks, shout out to them from a few years ago, over 1 million views on the short. Nice. It seems that the batteries go in with this nice pattern side first. The side with the ring goes in first, and the side with the information is visible. So let's get both of those in, and can we get a little sneak peek? All right, it doesn't seem, I guess it's not being pressed down. I don't want to use my finger for it. Maybe we can put this in backwards, try and trick the system, and it doesn't see, oh, that might have been a flicker. Let's see if it works when we get this all back in. Also, I guess what we could do to test out the batteries is to put them in this lightsaber and see if it still barely glows. Just like so, and our survey says, no, the batteries are indeed dead. So I guess these ones can be thrown away. Or recycled. Do they recycle cell batteries? And as we know these batteries work, hopefully once we pop this back on, let's get this clicked back into place with a nice satisfying click. Actually, this is a bit harder to do. All right, you know what? We're gonna hold it down with the lightsaber bar and take a little look. It doesn't seem to be lighting up, which isn't good because it means the likelihood is the minifigure itself is actually broken, and that is a bit harder to deal with. Yeah, it seems something else has gone wrong, but I did say I was gonna clean it and I haven't done that. So let's give it a quick scrub. All right, now we've given it a quick little clean. Obviously couldn't let this one soak, so we've cleaned it the best that we can. Let's put the batteries back in. I'm pretty sure they were this way around, but again, we can always test the other way just to be on the safe side. Push the back in, and still nothing. So let's flip the batteries and see if it works any better. No, well, it seems our Mace Windu isn't fully functional. However, we can still light up a Mace Windu. Okay, this is why the batteries don't go in this way, because one of them's very difficult to stick out. But we can still light up a Mace Windu with the LED sabers that I recently added to my collection. Oh no, I think I have made a terrible mistake. I've just put the batteries back in this saber and now it's not lighting up. What if I mixed up the batteries when I took, because when I took it out, one of them did ping into the pile of the other two, but I'm pretty sure it was the far left one. But I've switched both pairs of batteries around now, so I have no idea which battery is even the right one, which one is the wrong one, and which ones I have mixed. All four of these are mixed up. So I guess we're just gonna have to cycle through, give them a try, and hopefully then we can find the two working batteries and try this all over again. Don't worry, we'll still be bringing out the LED lightsabers, and hopefully we can get this working. All right, so let's give this a go. I think we should probably label our batteries. So these two are going to be 1 and 2. Then we have 3 and 4. So we know that 1 and 2, 3 and 4 don't work together. Let's try number 1 on the bottom, number 3 on top. Imagine if one of these batteries just died when I took it out and there's only one of them that works. Okay, 1 and 3 don't work. And let's try 1 and 4. Maybe 1 is the broken battery. I think by trying these all together, yeah, this doesn't work either. So we know that 1 is definitely a dead battery. There we go. So 1's definitely dead. We can flip that open, flip that over, and let's try 2 and 3. Hopefully one of these combinations work. Here we go, 2 and 3. Let's just double check. Yeah, there's nothing that needs this one. 2 and 3 don't work. So 3 has now been exhausted as well. 3 is definitely a dead battery. Hopefully 2 and 4, please 2 and 4 be the right combination. No, I think these batteries just died when I took them out. They were working, but maybe because I held them, because if you do touch the top and bottom, you discharge the battery a little bit. Maybe they were on their last life, their dying battery breaths. And now we're back to square one with no battery. So I'm gonna have to have a little look and see if I've got any more laying around. No, everything takes AAAs nowadays. Close you back up. Even the Lights and Sound Vader uses one of those LR44, or a few of those LR44, the chunkier of these cell batteries. All right, I think I may have found something that has batteries in, but I'm not going to show it on camera because I'm not sure if tampering with this device is some sort of offense or not. And I've also just had a thought. I wonder if Lego still use the CR927 batteries in their sound bricks. If this doesn't work, I'll have a little look, and of course we'll have to return it. But I might have to ask my partner if I can steal the Harry Potter hat. Bearing in mind, the last time I took it, I did kind of insult her building, so I'm not sure how willing she would be to let me borrow it again. Just in case I find another, not mistake, but you know, just in case I find another something up with that. Wow, they have made this device almost impossible to crack open. So I definitely feel like I'm committing some sort of crime here. I guess at least it's not illegal. It's nothing they can come for me through this video for. I just feel like it's wrong. It's wrong tampering. It's like breaking open a calculator when you need to replace the batteries. It's just wrong, isn't it? It shouldn't be done. You just go out and buy a new calculator. But the screws are coming out for this very, very slowly, but very, very surely. And maybe just with these half off, can I just pry this open? I don't need this anymore. I don't know why I've kept this device. Oh, has it been glued as well as screwed? Oh no, it pops straight off. And the device is small enough that surely Surely it can't fit any big batteries. If I open this up and there's a blooming AAA, if I open this up and there's a AAA inside of here, I'm going to be amazed at how it fit, and I'm going to have to borrow this for my display. Get some of that TARDIS space energy, you know, bigger on the inside so that I can get more Lego on a shelf, because that's going to be really impressive. All right, we're on to the final screw. No, I don't think that screws out yet. Of course not. Of course not. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's clicked. It's out. And on the inside, I can confirm that there's a few more screws that I can pop off. This, oh, looking for that screw is going to be a pain later. There is this. Could this be where the screws are? Oh, they use two of the massive screws. All right, well, the sound brick is our only hope. So I've got up the lego.com site for the sorting hat to have a little look at what batteries are included, because I remember seeing so many videos about all the stickers, all these sets that have batteries in them to some aspects. Even the power functions have this ugly sticker slapped on front of them. And actually the sorting hat only has top corner batteries included, and there's no information anywhere on the box about what batteries are included, which I feel like if they have to say batteries are included, surely that should be because of specifying what specific battery, or giving some more information other than just batteries included. Even on the UK box, surely there's some indication of batteries included. We have the exact same little print over it. So where is the giant batteries included sticker at? It turns out the reason that the States have to have that sticker is because button batteries can be easily swallowed. So they have to specify that they're button batteries, and that includes the light bricks. Completely forgot about the light bricks, honestly, and usually we don't have them on there. But all it says, I've got Barad-Dur loaded up here that does have still, for everyone, batteries included. The extra warning for the Americas, for North America especially, is ingestion hazard. This product contains a button cell or coin battery for the LED bricks. And these LED bricks do give me hope that the sound brick does use the same coin battery, because these, I'm pretty sure in saying, use two... Oh, hold on. Are these LR44s as well? These are a little thicker. Yeah, they're not the same battery. These are the thicker battery. Maybe the sound bricks use the LR batteries. Anyway, the rest of the warning says death can occur if ingested. Can you die to a button cell battery? I don't know, that seems a bit of an exaggeration. I'm gonna have to fact check that. And it also says a swallowed button cell can cause internal burns in as little as 2 hours. Yeah, fair enough, burns, but death? Saying you can die to burns, I mean, you're gonna have to put like a death warning on anything that gets warm. A light bulb is gonna need a death warning because that can burn you. And yes, the wrong time, the wrong place, death can occur. But doesn't that seem just a little bit dramatic from Lego? Keep new and used out of reach of children. Seek immediate medical attention if a battery is suspected to be swallowed or inserted into any part of the body. Yeah, don't go inserting batteries into yourself. But no news on the sound brick, so I'm actually going to get the hat and have a look, make sure it is the right battery before we start pulling anything apart. Here's the sorting hat, and hopefully easier than we tried it last time. If we spin it around, pop this back bit down, there's the sound brick. We can just pop this straight, oh no, I'm now pulling this whole thing apart. We can now pop the sound brick straight out, and is there any indication on what batteries are inside? There's the little 2021 Lego group. No, it can't be that old. Huh, it doesn't seem to say. All right, so I've got the green light. Whoa. I've got the green light to pull apart this Lego brick and to get it, you know, back the way it came. After I'm done with it, these screws should be easier than the last one, but I'm really intrigued to see which batteries are inside, because it's a big brick. It needs to have the little sound part in it, and Hopefully a few of you aren't screaming at the screen right now that I shouldn't be doing this because it's irreversible. Surely Lego wouldn't do that to us, right? Oh, there's 3 batteries, but they're even chunkier than the ones in here, aren't they? Yeah, they're even chunkier. These are definitely LR44s. Pretty cool though. If you haven't seen the inside of a sound brick, there you go. We've got the 3 batteries, a little circuit board, tiny little thing with a button on it.
Yes, clearly you belong in Ravenclaw.
Oh, well, that's my partner's house, so that's quite fitting actually. And then the little speaker, not a bad speaker on it, and I assume the sounds are stored on some bit of memory just underneath. But there we go, none of the batteries that we need, which these are really hard to find. If any of you know where I can pick up any of these batteries that isn't Amazon, let me know down in the comments. As I said, we're going to try out the USB LED saber because I do have a clear one and a purple one that I can be trying. And I have ordered more LED sabers anyway. I know I joked around about getting 25 more. That was on top of the ones I've already ordered. They have now been sent out and should be arriving soon because I have one extra USB slot in the USB hub that we ordered. But you know, there's what it could look like if we did have the LED. Let's grab the LED saber and give it a whirl. So, power bank in hand. That does actually stand up, and this is the purple saber. I feel like the clear saber is what I did when I showed off all of the other sabers initially. I really just want to get this saber seen as it would look like, and I also wonder, now with it in hand, would putting this on a clear blade make the blade light up purple? Because that could be fun to see the different colors of that. Let's get it plugged straight in because we don't need the hub. And oh, that is definitely different to the other purple. Again, this is a purple LED inside, but if I can grab that other purple saber and plug that in, actually this one's blue. Did I mix these up when I was putting these away? That's a purple sticker and I put the blue blade in here. Let's get the purple one. So if the blue one's in the purple, then surely this one in the blue must be blue, right? Let's give it a go. So here we have it with no blade. There we go. That's the purple saber element. And now it's looking just a little bit more purple. But if we take that out and plug the darker purple in, it doesn't even light it up all the way. It goes about half of the way, and then it just stops it lighting it up. Which is because it's just a darker material, and to compare the 2 purples together, you can see one of them is a lot lighter. It's almost as if, right, this bottom one is like a knockoff because it's older and it has the bubble in it. I think we've even got, have we not got a frosted purple yet? Could this be a frosted purple? I'm unsure how often we've got the purple saber element, but these two were released side by side. This one on the Light Up Windu minifigure, and then the other one with the regular Windu minifigure, which is a nice little fun fact that it makes sense that this one works better with the LED saber, given the fact that, you know, the darker purple, as we've just seen, doesn't do as well. All right, this one's purple and this one's blue. I'll have to put them separate sides so I know to put them away together, but we do also have this clear saber from Filoni Clones that will allow us to see just what this Windu minifigure should look like. So let's get this plugged right in and let's see what the purple lightsaber would look like if we could get this working. And we will eventually get this working. I am now on the hunt for these batteries. But here we go in 3, 2, 1. You know what? That looks pretty cool. And the fact that right now I'm sat here with a power bank with a wire that's just larger than a foot, and the fact that all of this can be contained within Mace Windu is really, really awesome to know. I'd love for Lego to bring back these minifigures one day so that I can grow my collection, and I am definitely interested in picking up the bunch of all 5 of them, but you know, here on the channel I don't like to use expensive minifigures such as Mr. Mace Windu here in any of my mocks or any other displays. I'm definitely going to have to get a little acrylic case for this guy, because I think alongside a few other minifigures that are now featured in my channel banner, go check them out. I think this is probably the most expensive minifigure, one of the most sought after Lego minifigures, all official, that I own in my collection. In fact, I'd go as far as to say this Mace Windu right here is probably worth about half of all the other minifigures that are currently on my displays, which is crazy to think here in just the one little minifigure. But hello there, I've just wrapped up my first stream for Jango Fett's UCS Starship, celebrating 10,000 subscribers. Thank you again. But before we build the second half of this ship, check out tomorrow's live stream, which is scheduled as this video goes out. For the rest of the build, I had a little parcel arrive before my stream. I in fact showed it off during the stream, and we finally have some batteries ready to use with our Light Up Mace Windu. So let's check them out. I think the first test, and the one that we've all really been waiting for, is this Anakin wait, let me just, yeah, okay, the mic is recording this time. The Anakin Skywalker saber. I didn't mention it in the last voiceover, but it does have an Anakin Skywalker little plaque of some sort, I guess, attached to it. So this is Anakin's saber. Let's get some of the batteries here. Usually you can poke them out the back, and again they have perforated edges on here, but we can't be too picky when we're looking at batteries we were struggling to find. Batteries we'd still be looking for if it wasn't for my nan who sent these over. So massive thanks to my nan for sending these. I genuinely could not find these anywhere, I guess, other than Amazon, but it is the same nan and granddad, if you were curious, that got me into Lego Star Wars, that I thank for my addiction into these bricks with this here Clone Trooper Battle Pack. When I was staying around, they picked me up this set, so I guess we're gonna have this on the side as well, but it doesn't make it any easier to get into these. They have properly coated the entire plastic. I don't know how I'm gonna get into these. I think the best way of getting into these is just by trying to cut around the battery and then separate the plastic from the rest of it. And we are going to need 4 of these, 2 for the lightsaber, 2 for Mace Windu, which is what we're really all here for. But let's whack these in the saber first. There we go. 1 battery. Got to be careful how I handle these as well, as to not discharge them. I don't want to touch the top and the bottom of the battery at the same time. In fact, I'm going to go get some gloves. I was going to grab some rubber gloves till I remembered I have these like working gloves that my partner bought me so I didn't stab myself with Lego bricks or the likes, and they're anti-everything, which hopefully also includes anti-shocking for like electrical work, which means they shouldn't be discharging any of these batteries. So let's whack these both in here. Snug fit. Sorry, Django. Almost beheaded you. Wrong saber for that. And testing it out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm beginning to think that the batteries are inserted into here the wrong way. Surely, brand new batteries. And that's not a trick of the camera this time. This just straight up doesn't work. I have already disposed of the other batteries, so if I did put these in the wrong way and I've recycled 2 fully functional batteries, well, I wouldn't say fully functional. They were barely functional at best. Maybe this keyring has just fried since using it. I can't see why. All right, this is more of a struggle to get them in this way than it was the last. Let's make sure we're not hurting the little spring in it. Oh, that's it. Django's gone as well. This is very fiddly to try and get these in here. I guess when the batteries run out is usually when you just go pick up a new one. There we go. Does it work? Yes! Whoa! Whoa, that's bright. Ah! I've got to try it. You underestimate my power. This is pretty cool. I hope that we can get the same luck with the Windu blade. And whose idea, may I ask, was it to put Windu's back on? We've spent like most of this video just taking this back element off, and now we've got to do it all again. Hopefully it's easier this time. I was gonna do this whole segment where I say it wasn't, but actually it popped off straight away, thankfully. And I didn't even have to pull off any of the arms, so if you're trying to remove the batteries, please, please don't pop off your arms unless you really want to. Go for that little side hole, it makes it so much better. But I can't remember which way the batteries go in. First off, we need to cut ourselves some brand new batteries, so let's do that. Bigger scissors could have done this in one foul swoop. And again, try not to touch both ends of the battery, so I'll be keeping these gloves on just so I mean, they're brand new batteries. Even if I discharge them a little bit, it'll be okay. But you know, we're just being extra secure here with our Windu minifigure. Also want to be careful you don't end up with any sort of paper cut or anything like that on these. There we go, both new batteries, and they want to go in this way because otherwise, I realized I said I'd have the gloves on and my thumbs are still out. There we go. Otherwise they just, the bottom one gets stuck. There we go. Any sort of, no indication of light, but we've got two new batteries in. So I'm going to put the back piece back on, especially given how easy it is to take that off now that it has been taken off. I assume this hasn't really been put on and off too much when it was being used or being played with back in the day. If this was indeed being played with, always a chance that this come from a collector. And there we go. It's not on. There we go. All on, nice and snug. And do we think, after however long this video's been, do we think it's going to light up? Make your guess, and all will be revealed in 3, 2, 1. Why does it feel like the head's not pressing down? Oh, there we go. No, it looks like the batteries weren't enough. There we go, the head is pressing down, the button still works, and there's some electrical component in there that doesn't work. This could be for any reason. I am going to probably take the new, actually, you know, I'll keep the new batteries in there, just in case it needs to warm up. You never know. But I think there might be something else at play inside this Lego Mace Windu minifigure that means for whatever reason it's not turning on, but at least we've got some new batteries inside. It's still a really cool minifigure to get. Plus, we've now got every single Lego lightsaber bar. Here's a look at every single lightsaber bar that is in my collection and that Lego have ever made. I should also bring out, if I'm saying that, all of these other funny little bars. From right to left, we have the two glow in the dark, the two, like, this is a flame sword, not really a lightsaber, the dark saber of new and old, and Kylo's special bars, but our focus is going to be on these elements here, because this right here is every single translucent Lego bar that Lego have made and can be used for a lightsaber, including ones like this yellow one here that's exclusive to a DC set and haven't yet been used. We're getting a new orange as well. This is a fluorescent orange, so when the Snowspeeder comes out, I think I'm going to have to add a new saber to this and stretch this out, maybe combine it with all the other bar elements so that we can have one long haul of sabers. Wouldn't that look cool? But we have a clear, a red, a neon orange, a yellow, a neon green, which looks kind of yellow, like Ahsoka's first saber, a green, a light blue, a medium blue, a dark blue, a purple, a light purple, and a pink right at the end. Fun fact, did you know that there's no official Lego color named purple because there's no Danish word for the color? So even though we couldn't get Mace Windu to light up just yet, and do let me know in the comments if you have anything you'd like me to try and get this to light up. And I guess we could also replace all the components inside and take a little look at just how this guy works so that we can replicate that with future Lego minifigures, and also I will be finding that one stud for the bottom of this when I use this in a future mock or try to rebuild the original set. But thank you so much again for 10k. Thanks to my nan and granddad for sending over the batteries needed for not just Windu, but also this LED lightsaber keyring. Until next time, may the bricks be with you always.